Welcome to a very special edition of Crowding the Plate, powered by Branded Sports as always. Dubs, the Eagle has landed.
Yep.
Bryce Harper is finally a Philadelphia Philly, and he is going to be staying there a very long time. So, Dubs, what are the stipulations and details of the Harper to the Phillies deal?
Yeah, you say a long time, I say an eternity. He's there for 13 years, 330 million, and he's not going anywhere unless he wants to because there's no opt-out clause, no trade clause, and really, I mean, the Phillies are excited about him, I'm sure, but they better be excited about him at 38 years old too because they'll be paying him just as much.
He's got him by the balls, basically. He wants to stay there. He will be there.
Yeah, but unlike us, who are not very happy about this deal, because one, we were wrong. Two, there's really no drama in it. Where's the fun in that? He was supposed to go to the Phillies. Like, that kind of sucks. Three, Joe does some grave dancing later, which really sucks.
Yeah, he'll be here dancing on our graves, I am sure, and it's not going to be fun for you and I because we are never wrong until we are wrong.
Which we were definitely wrong.
Yeah, that the picture you made of him in San Francisco, I was like, you know what? It's definitely happening now because that picture is that good. And you're right, it's so anticlimactic. I told you this. It's like the New England Patriots every season, you know. You know they're going to win the Super Bowl. We knew he was going to go to Philly, but then something happens. They lose 2 games in a row. You know, he flirts with the Giants, and then you're like, ooh, maybe not. And then boom. In the end, the Patriots win the Super Bowl, and in the end, just like everybody thought, boring. Harper is in Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate because it just would have been way more fun. One, to just see him out in California, I just think would have looked cooler. Kind of brings you back to Barry Bonds highlights.
Absolutely.
Cubby Cove, you want it. That wasn't the big deal, though. We wanted to see Philly in chaos. And
Yes.
It's nothing against Philly. It just happened to be the team that was there. But
I wanted
didn't
to
get
see Philadelphia Phillies fans burning Harper jerseys that never existed.
Yep.
I needed it.
And now I'm sitting here miserable.
Looking at a 13-year deal worth $330 million. So is Scott Boras a wizard? I mean, did he do exactly what his client wanted him to do and get him what he wanted to get him again?
Yeah, so first off, he's a wizard any way you cut it, just because getting any type of 10-plus year deal that you get, it shouldn't be handed out and is near impossible to get. And he got a 13-year deal for more than anyone has ever gotten. And I mean, his comments after the trade or after the signing were the goal was to get the longest contract possible. Bryce wanted one city for the rest of his career, and that is what he was instructed to do. And he did just that. And it's, I mean, congrats to everyone involved because they all seem very happy with the deal. But obviously, people like us who didn't care or are a little disappointed by it, we're kind of looking ahead a little bit and hoping that in 5 years, this is like every other long-term deal ever where they regret it.
Yeah, where I know I'm going to be regretting the Stanton deal in like 2 years probably with the Yanks. But so there are reports, too, that the Dodgers were in it legitimately and were offering, what, $45 a year?
Yeah, I think it's aggressive to say legitimately now knowing that Bryce wanted a long-term deal. But it was a shorter-term deal from the Dodgers, and they wanted to give him $45 million a year, which that's a hard thing to turn down, but understandable because who wants to do free agency at 31 years old with the uncertainty of whether the money's going to go up or down from here. But the more intriguing offer was probably from the Giants at 12 and 310 with a lot of willingness to move up, which, you know, we've talked about it in the past, but maybe Bryce was just done with free agency. Maybe he was ready to call it quits, and he had a great offer on the table from the Phillies to call it quits with.
Yeah, I mean, why push it another week? Why push it another 10 days? When we talked in the last episode, you know, he is a brand. He is a superstar, but he's a ball player. So I think he wants to get to camp. He wants to get some at-bats. He wants to play in some games. And like you said, you know, he wants to get the off-the-field stuff done. Like, let his wife and him shop for a house. Like, you don't want to be doing that in the first month of the season. Just, you know what? 330 for 13 years. I make all the decisions, basically. If I want to be here for the next 13 years, sign the papers. Let's go. I'm ready to play baseball.
Yeah. And I mean, they're obviously going to have a stacked lineup, and we'll get into a lot of the specifics of it with Joe when he comes on in a few minutes here. But like I said, it definitely shocked us, but in reality, it shouldn't have, because this is where he was supposed to go. It's just really took the wind out of our sails, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, right. I mean, it makes sense for him, and it absolutely makes sense to the Phillies. And now we're already hearing, I heard it from Jim Bowden, that Trout and Harper were text messaging this whole time. Harper was asking Trout about Philadelphia, and you can bet a cheesesteak on it that in a few years, when Trout is a free agent, which, ladies and gentlemen, if it's a couple years away, they are going to be teaming up in Philly. And you know what? I'm not ready to talk about that yet.
Not only, oh God, I was going to say I'm not ready to talk about it, but really I'm not ready to hear about it.
Yes.
What I'm not ready for. And, any big fan base would do it themselves. Red Sox would do it. The Yankees would do it. Anyone would do it. But the Phillies are going to be insufferable about this for 2 more years. And it's going to be their scapegoat for the next 2 years if they don't win anything.
Yep.
It's going to be, oh, well, don't you wait until Trout gets here. And it's going to be miserable. So just buckle in and just hope that your team keeps winning so that you can just shove that back in their face.
It is going to be insufferable is exactly the word. And especially if Harper's not performing up to a $330 million deal, which, do we even know exactly what kind of player Harper is yet? Yeah, he's been in the league 7 years. I mean, 3 of those years, he had a WAR under 2. Last year, he was 1.3. I mean, he was as high as 10, which is unbelievable. But, I mean, you usually never see a player up and down the scales like that. So, I mean, I know that WAR can be somewhat of a questionable stat, but, I mean, those numbers can be a little outstanding, so high and then so low. So, I mean, yes, he's a superstar. Yes, he's an unbelievable player. But do we exactly know what Bryce Harper is?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely do. I disagree with you there, because I feel like he's a power hitter. He has all the symptoms of a power hitter. He's got a good eye. He walks a ton, and I mean, he mashes. There's no way around it, and he hits a lot of fucking home runs, like a lot of
bombs. Yeah.
And he's not going to stop doing that. He might even get better at it. Who knows? But I mean, he's a streaky player, and that's the way power hitters are. So that's something that Philly's going to have to deal with. And like I said, Philly's like any other passionate fan base. Yeah. All of us are going to give our players shit when they're being streaky. And whether it's deserved or not, they're going to have to get through some difficult months, and then they're going to have to enjoy some great months to make up for it. So.
And hey,
but no Trout.
A lot of great months. No, please no. Let's not talk about it until free agency is upon us, when Trout is available. Just let Harper be Harper. Enjoy the team you have right now, Philly. And hey, I mean, I'm sure Joe's going to come on and gloat and say they're the best team in the NL. So I'm not ready for it, but I know it's coming.
Nope. It'd be great if Trout went to the Washington.
Oh my God. Let's not even start that yet.
Maybe I will just start that. I'll get out ahead of the Philly people.
Soto, Albies, and Trout. That's a big 3.
Yeah.
I would love it. All right. Well, I think that's enough hearing from just you and I on this. Why don't we bring the Philly man himself into this conversation? All right, guys. We unfortunately are joined now by the one and only leader of Branded Sports, who powers Crowding the Plate, CEO Joe, who has been saying since Christmas every single day
Harper was coming
to be a Philly.
Harper Claus was coming to town. By the way, it was never one time even a worry or a doubt in my mind that he was not going to sign with the Phillies. It was so ridiculously obvious. The man wants to play baseball in a town that loves baseball. first off, Dubs, you saying that he's going to play in San Francisco is the most ridiculous thing in the world. They offered him basically the same exact deal, and he turned it down because San Francisco doesn't love baseball. San Francisco loves gelato and sourdough, and that's all they love. They don't love baseball. He's not going there to hit home runs in McCovey Cove, and when he does, he's going to be wearing Phillies pinstripes. And then there's L.A., the dirtiest city and the grossest city in the world. Have you ever been to L.A.?
They got LeBron James.
It's literally the only person that the only person that hates LA more than Boston fans is LeBron James. That dude hates LA. But LA is, put it this way, New York's disgusting. I mean, it's basically just one huge homeless shelter at this point. And LA is New York's ugly cousin. He's not going to play in LA. All right, he's coming home to the original capital of this country. He's leaving Washington, which, by the way, being a Washington sports fan, besides their one Stanley Cup in I don't know how many years, the Capitals have won the President's Trophy, 90 straight years, and they finally get one cup. And then the Washington Wizards are always supposed to be the up and coming team. Washington is the worst sports city in the world. He wasn't staying there. He wasn't going out west. It was Philly the whole time. Philly, 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 free, 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 free. God, you guys were saying?
Ooh,
I mean,
this is wicked.
Obviously, CEO Joe from Philly has never been to Philly.
Yeah. Well, this is wicked awkward for me because I thought we were coming on to talk about Clay Buchholz signing with the Blue Jays.
I saw that.
But now that we're talking about Bryce Harper.
And hold on. Before we go on. No. Before we go on, Kevin, take off that stupid Yankees hat. I see the Phillies hat in the background. It's probably your wife's. Put that hat on for the rest of this. I think you owe me that much at least. You owe me that much at least.
Can I put it on like over the Yankees hat, or
That's
I gotta
fine.
go full?
I don't care. I just want to see that. There you go. That counts.
My wife's gonna yell at me because it's backwards. She says I look like an idiot with backwards hat. So
anyway, Nicholas, you were saying.
All right, 13 years, 330 million. No opt-out clause. No trade clause.
Guys, this wasn't even a deal. This was a steal.
Oh,
25 million. Former MVP.
Harper's contract ends in the year 2032, and my first question is, that's not a real year, right?
No, not at all.
That's so far away. Like, that's unimaginable.
Joe's gonna have 6 kids by then.
My daughter is gonna be going into high school when he's finally out of the deal.
I might be retired by then. I'm 22 years old.
I mean, branded sports is gonna be been taking over the world for about 10 years by then.
We're gonna have an office on the moon by that time.
Kids are gonna be doing spring break in Mars.
That's right. That's right.
All right. My first real baseball question, though.
Fire away.
Why? So this lineup's obviously diesel, like the whole,
Correct.
Like it's a ton of all-stars and stuff like that.
I love
but
Hoskins.
Your starting pitching outside of Nola sucks.
Not worried about it. Not worried about it at all. Not worried about it at all. 2008 Phillies. Hold on. No. 2008 Phillies. You know who had the most wins on that team?
You?
Jamie Moyer. He had He went 16-7, and his ERA was like 3.72. I don't know if that's exactly correct. Look it up, but I'm pretty sure.
But that's such an aberration of a championship. Like when you sign this type of contract,
they won the
you expect.
Yeah,
but it's
a different day and age.
And not only that, like it's not like you guys built a dynasty there. You guys hit on 1 year and then it was over. But this, when you signed 13,
hold on.
Hit
on 1 year. They
went on back and then they who was your daddy? And what does he do?
No, it was Hideki Matsui, and it was A-Rod
Pedro
voiding it up.
But regardless, you expect more than just that 10-year out of a 13-year contract with Bryce Harper. Yeah. And so, for my original question, though, we've gotten a little off the rails. I don't see how this Phillies team. I don't see how this Phillies team, top to bottom, including pitching, bullpen, all of it. I don't see how they're that much better than some of the best national teams we've seen in the last few years with Bryce Harper. Like, I think the rosters are very comparable. It's just the only difference is Washington's pitching heavy.
The best catcher in the sport. You added a 6-time All-Star and former MVP. You added a reliever that both you guys on this very show have admitted you wish still played on your team, Kevin, and was on your team, Dubs.
Absolutely.
And you also added a all-star shortstop. What are you guys even talking about? This is the team to beat in the NL. You guys are.
Here we go. In the entire NL.
First of all, I still think
1,000%.
the team to beat in the NL is still the Brewers and Dodgers.
Yes.
The two of them.
No.
Maybe not the Dodgers because they unloaded Boone, but the Brewers definitely have a stronger
The Brewers absolutely.
lineup. And then in your own division, you still don't know what all these young guys in Atlanta will be. Maybe not this year, but in the next 3 seasons.
Absolutely.
That will be a competitive be a competitive division top to bottom.
Your division actually has some of the best young guys in all of baseball. Albies we talked about, Acuna.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have your own young guys.
Rendon over in Washington.
I love Hoskins.
It's a win now. They're the team to beat in the NL East. They're the team to beat in the NL as well. What happened last year, I think the Braves outplayed who they were last year, and I think they're going to come back down to earth this year. I don't know. I just don't. I think the Nationals are going to have to win a lot of 4-3 and 3-2 games if they're going to win. That's how they're going to have to win now.
And I think they're going to be able to with that kind of pitching that they have.
No, I agree, but they just watched 40 home runs a season walk out their front door and go right next door. That's going to hurt. I agree.
And I'm not comparing. The Phillies have the best roster for sure in that division.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying this is a 13-year deal. We're not just talking about this year, even just next year. In the next 4 years, what are you going to do when all this money is eating up the Phillies? And you maybe, if you're lucky, you got one championship out of it. Because I still don't think this puts the Phillies over any of the top 3 AL teams.
But but at the end of the day, the one thing about baseball is you just got to get there. The best team doesn't always win it, and for the Phillies' perspective, we've seen that before. When they had the 4 aces, they should have won one there easy.
All right, so when the dust settles, 13 years, what shows you that this was a success? How many championships? You can't say one. One does not make this deal a success to me.
Over a course of 13 years, well, there's a little bit of a caveat. His deal's 13 years. He's not going to play all 13 years.
All right, we asked Joe. All right, Dubs and I. All right, before you answer that question, then Dubs and I were talking. So you don't think he's going to be there for all 13? Do you think he's going to retire before then? Do you think he's going to be traded before then? What?
I actually think he'll play definitely 8. I think you're going to get like 6 really good years out of him. Then you're going to get those last 2 where the wheels are starting to come off. And then they're going to either find a way to get rid of him or he's going to end up taking one of the, he's going to pull out of that no trade clause because there's going to be somewhere else where he wants to finish out. Maybe it's even Washington or something like that because
they're going to want to pull the plug. He's going to be the Yankees fucking DH when he's 47 years old.
I think that's another reason why I love it is because the NL is going to have a DH before the end of his career. Mm-hmm. So when you get to the back end of that, they're going to have a spot for him. I don't know. I think he plays 8 to 10 of the 13, and I think this Phillies team can win 2. And I think 2 or more I consider a success.
I would agree with that.
I think my only problem with that though is just saying, he could just play 8 to 10 with you guys, but the contract that you guys just gave him allows him all the control in the world to decide whether that's the case or not.
Correct.
The Phillies can't find a way out in year 10 when they're paying 35-year-old Bryce Harper $25 million.
Good. And I can't wait because in that many years, when there's flying cars, $25 million a year is basically going to be the equivalent of like $6 million a year now. So I'm not worried about it at all. And do you know how much money? So they just gave away Bryce Harper a $330 million contract. Do you know how much money they still have left before they even hit the luxury tax right now?
Yeah, they can probably still
$47.5 million. They already said that they're not going to go after Keuchel or Kimbrel unless they take a shorter deal. Whatever, maybe that happens. I think they have enough money to throw at them to possibly change their minds. They still have a ton of money left, and they're going to use some of that obviously to go with some of their other younger guys. But it's baseball. There's no cap. It's all fake money. They're playing with monopoly money.
But you don't think the Phillies themselves have a self-imposed cap at all, like where they just won't go past just because they know they have this much money committed for another decade, and they've never been big spenders to begin with.
I would have said before this offseason, yes, but seeing what John Middleton has done and what he said, you just really don't know.
Stupid money.
Yeah, I mean, he
Yeah.
came into it. He said, I mean, he put himself accountable. Basically, he was the one that set himself up. So I don't know. At this point, I literally have no idea. All I know is that free. We have the best team in the NL East.
All right, so what are you going to do when it's July 27th and Bryce Harper's batting 250?
250 with 30 home runs already? Awesome.
No, 12.
No, he's not going to 12. Are you insane?
He's 250 with 12, July 26th. What? No, I'm just saying. What do you and your Philadelphia fans? You're going to be screaming for Mike Trout already.
Well, I mean, yeah, I am screaming for Mike Trout, and when they add him,
here we go.
Free.
Here we go.
We are going to be.
Harper's going to be old news by September.
Not at all. Not at all.
I know exactly how you work. I know exactly how Philly fans work.
No.
Not
we
even
are a loyal bunch.
Not even this season though. Just say in 3, like, let's put yourself in this hypothetical situation where in 4 years they haven't won a championship. All these contracts and this super team you have loaded up now, nothing came of it. Then what happens with Philly and Harper? Because Philly will destroy a player, and if Harper's has to be here for has to be there for over a decade.
I'm not going to take this blasphemy. Philly doesn't just destroy guys. What it is it's the 10% of the idiots that actually call into sports radio and the 10% of the idiots that are the ones that get hurt. The city has a ton of smart fans. I mean, if you listen to sports radio in Philadelphia, it makes you want to blow your brains out because it's so bad.
Hey, you don't even appreciate your Super Bowl MVP, but that's a whole nother story.
It's not that you don't appreciate him. He's not the better. We're not going to get into this. We're not going to do this.
It's so easy, ladies and gentlemen. It is so easy.
Yeah. A little bit. Torelli. But listen, in 4 years, if they don't have any championships, that 100% could be the case. I don't think that they're going to be running Harper anywhere near out of town because in the next 4 years, he's going to average over 40 home runs a season. He's going to put up Ryan Howard 2006 to 2010 numbers. He's just going to he's going to crush the ball in that park. In center field where the wall kind of has like a little corner, he pegs balls in center field. He's going to have like 5 in the park home runs.
And I ask what Philly's going to do to him, not because Philly like will go murder people or whatever, not literally, but whatever.
Talk shit.
Not because that, just because in all the big, I mean, it happens in New York, happens in Boston. All of them are tough on their players. Like,
absolutely,
you only put up with so much for so long before the fans and the organization, it just becomes a problem in general because people are demanding too much in those type of cities.
Well, here's the thing. I don't like to live in hypotheticals. All right. I like to live in the known and the present. And all that I know in this present time is that the Philadelphia Phillies are now one of, if not the best team in the National League. And next year they will compete for a World Series. They will win the NL East. And I am more just really pissed off that I didn't throw my mortgage on the over 86.5 for the regular season wins because they are going to smoke that number.
What do you think about Gabe Kapler in this group, and just how? Because he's a guy I do want to
talk to us about.
Because I love Kapler. I loved him as on the Sox, obviously as a player, but he's very much not analytics whatsoever.
No, but I think what this does is it actually forces his hand to be a better manager. So now instead of do you play Reese, out in the field, or you play him at first? Well, now obviously he's just going to play first. Does Reese bat second, or do you put him at 4? Well, now obviously you're going to put him at 4. So I think this almost dumbs down his responsibilities to where it's one of those things where it's like he really can't mess this up, or at least not the offensive side. I mean, obviously with pitchers, there's always going to be questions. I don't care how good of a manager you are, but he's going to have a hard time messing this up. So I give him the benefit of the doubt of last year. He's trying to figure it out. Before that, I don't think he managed like one season in like AAA. Like he was managing like the Blue Claws, and then all of a sudden, then he's a major league manager. So I give him the benefit of the doubt. Give him another season. I'm a little iffy on him. My wife thinks he's super hot. I mean, I agree. The guy's built like a brick shit house. You know what I mean? Yeah,
he hasn't had a potato chip in 10 years.
Have you seen this body? I haven't had a carb in 10 years. That's Gabler. I love the guy. I mean, I like the guy. I give him another shot, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, because he's a guy that I actually very much see being similar to like Aaron Boone, where it's just Aaron Boone's a lot more boring than Kapler.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's if you're gonna find a guy, it's just a guy that doesn't have much experience and doesn't really know what he's doing. Because even a guy like Cora with the Sox, he came in, but he had just won a World Series on a MLB team. Like,
Well, I mean, at the same time, baseball managers are not exactly. You don't have to be a great manager to be a baseball manager. I mean, one of the three of us could manage that Red Sox team to 100 wins. I mean, that's pretty obvious. Just put the lineup in and get out of the way.
I think your guys' biggest weakness, though, is very clearly the pitching. As great as Robertson is, I mean, you guys don't have. You guys have what, one flamethrower, and that's it. No one that can really throw over 95 outside of who is it, Gutierrez or whoever.
Yeah, that's going to be the tough spot. I still don't think that they're done yet. I mean, maybe they get Kimbrel, maybe not. Once again, but those guys want longer deals. But
yeah, my point to that though is just that's where most of the managing is done. Like the lineups kind of set themselves, so that's where you can lose games, like left and right.
Correct.
This kind of hit.
Yeah. No, I agree. What I'm saying is that until this offseason is actually officially finished, which I think we're still far from it, unbelievably, because there's spring training games happening right now. What I think is going to end up happening is now that Harper's deal is done, Machado's deal is done, all those other guys waiting in the wings, they're going to start falling like crazy. So over the next probably 72 hours, you're going to see just John Heyman tweet after John Heyman tweet of just guys being signed. And John Heyman can get bent. I'm going to mute that guy so I don't have to see him.
Most hated man in Philadelphia.
Well, it's not. He was doing the same. He had like the same three sentences that he would just tweet over and over again. He would just like move this word to this word.
Because he knew. He knew it was
getting
traction. It was getting movement. It was getting everybody was talking about it.
I feel personally.
Do I respect a guy that just goes and gets clicks? I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
Big Daddy clicks over here.
I don't know. I feel personally offended by him just because he gave me so much hope for the West Coast.
Yes.
I'm more.
Did you see that beautiful picture that Nick Dubs made last night?
I wanted to make that my cover photo on everything.
What?
And
this one?
Blew it. No, not that shitty poster. It was.
It was the beautiful Bryce Harper.
Bryce Harper in the clouds over the Golden Gate Bridge. It was gorgeous.
Oh yeah, that was great. Yeah, whatever. You can throw that over the Walt Whitman now.
What's your over-under for this year?
Wins? I think they're a 92 win ball club. And I think that's enough to win the NL East. They're going to be figuring some stuff out now.
Definitely enough to win your division.
Yeah, if they go and get another arm, I think they're closer to 95.
Okay.
So do you think they're going to go get another arm?
Yeah, I don't think that they're done. You have over $47 million still that you could spend this year before you even touch the luxury cap. I mean, why not? Even if it's a couple short-term deals, go get some guys. And then obviously at the trading deadline, they're going to be huge buyers. I mean, this is we're going to win it. That's just obvious at this point. The team to beat is back.
Harper's won so many in 7 years.
My problem,
because he's been in Washington.
My biggest problem is still that they're not better than any of the top 3 AL teams.
That's fine, but once we get there, you never know what's going to happen. That's all I'm going to say.
The Red Sox are going to win the World Series.
That's fine. They take a shot. We'll see what happens. We'll see.
I hope the Yankees aren't going anywhere, Kevin.
Yeah,
I think we all agree on that.
Yeah. That Aaron Hicks deal. Yikes.
Awful.
6 years.
Aaron
7.
Isn't even good.
7. Whatever. All right, guys. I'm gonna get out of here. All right.
Wait.
I have a rule.
One more question to ask you.
Fine.
If you listen to the last podcast,
not all of it. If we're being honest, listen to most of it, but hit me with
what is the one position player in baseball that you want to see on the mound pitching in a game this year?
Oh, I love that question.
It was Dubs. I'm not stealing that. That was all Dubs.
Just like at any point in time?
Yeah.
Just see him out there?
Mm-hmm. Like you're like funniest or just most intriguing? I said Judge just to the size, and Dubs said the Panda.
Oh, the Panda would be
There was a clip of him in spring training
hysterical.
throwing BP, and it was the funniest thing ever.
Oh, oh my goodness. That's a really good one. You know what I would actually like to see? I would actually like to see when a team runs out of pitchers, if they can put their manager out there, because I would like to see what Gabe could fire back. I think if you gave Gabe the ball,
Here we go.
I think he could throw some heat.
So a couple weeks back,
there's your flamethrower you just signed.
Yeah.
There we go.
A couple weeks back, our friend Glock came up with the new rules to fix baseball, and I said that on Twitter, I think, where I said one time a game, there's got to be one batter that the manager has to face on your team, and you just have to strategically pick who it's going to be.
It's phenomenal.
So my number one, if I could change anything about baseball, the one rule I said that on Send It Radio originally, that Steve and Jesse totally shot down, but I still think is the greatest idea. If you want to speed up baseball and make it more fun, remove second base completely. So you have to go first to third, or you're in a pickle. So
this is a
constant pickles or like triples and singles.
That's like one step away from cricket.
It's amazing. It's not a bad idea.
This is the topic for another day. We'll give you 30 more seconds to grave dance, and then we're kicking your ass out of here.
All right. Phillies win the NL East. By the All-Star game, they have their entire starting lineup will be All-Stars. Aaron Nola will be the Cy Young this year. The Yankees are going to win 42 total games. Aaron Judge is going to break his neck sliding into first.
Wow.
And the Red Sox are going to trade to the Phillies JD Martinez. You guys have a great evening. I'll see you guys later, you losers.
Bryce Harper is a Philadelphia Philly. So, Dubs and I have decided, since we were wrong, we are going to treat Philly fans with a giveaway. We have purchased 2 tickets in section 104, only 2 rows behind Bryce Harper, for the May 4th game. It is a Saturday night against his former team, the Washington Nationals, and it is Jimmy Rollins' retirement night. So, Dubs, how do they enter and how do they win?
It really doesn't get much better than that. I mean, you just heard them lay it all out. And when we're ripping on Philly in a month, just remember we did something for you. Just remember, because it's going to come. But to enter and win the 2 tickets, all you got to do is go follow us at CTP Pod on Twitter and then retweet the pin contest. You'll see it. Everyone's retweeting it right now. So get in while you still can. We're going to give it away on March 13th.
Well, thank you to CEO Joe for a phenomenal interview, a little bit of grave dancing and a little bit of answering questions. So that was your very special Harper edition of Crowding the Plate, another phenomenal episode, if I do say so myself. So, Dubs, how do the people find Crowding the Plate?
All right, guys, you can find this episode, recent episodes, and upcoming episodes. We release them every Wednesday. You'll find that on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn. Yep, TuneIn, and YouTube for any video podcasts, which will be this, one in the past, and then everything moving forward. So we got a ton of stuff coming for you guys this summer, so make sure you're subscribing everywhere you can.
I mean, the shows have been phenomenal already, and we haven't even hit baseball season yet. So just wait until actual games are being played, and wait until the Red Sox and Yankees are playing each other. Wait until Bryce Harper is failing miserably in Philadelphia. We have a ton already to talk about. We have 2, maybe 3 remotes already in the books coming up that we will be announcing very soon. So a lot of awesome stuff happening here at Crowding the Plate, powered by Branded Sports. As always, I am Kmess.
And I'm Dubs, guys. See you later.
Catch you.